What's up guys, this is Bgar coming at you with another CFM video. Today we're going to be looking at teams that have the most trade bait. Now, when you're looking for trade bait, you're looking for players who you're probably not going to use that have a really good value stat. A stat like speed. The reason why I value speed the way I do is because it is the hardest attribute to increase when you're doing your training. You'll always get better with finesse moves or man or zone coverage or power moves or route running or anything like that. Speed is the hardest one to have increase. Like you're probably, like if you start with a player that's at 65 overall, you're probably going to get 2, maybe 3 speed points. So that's one of the things I look at. Other thing is, how young are they? Or what position are you in for what you want to build? If you are trying to win now and you want to get some solid pieces around you, these players on these teams might be things you want to look at moving on if you don't use them very often. Another thing is trying to build for the future. Now let's say you're a player who's just not ready to compete for a Super Bowl or a division title, and you want to get some draft picks. These are players that you can get a lot of assets for, and they're not going to gut your team. So let's get right into it. The first team, this is in no particular order. The first team is the San Francisco 49ers. Now the reason the Niners are on here, they're the top team in my opinion in this game at the current moment. They are the number one team, I feel, because of how deep they are. So if you look right here, you see they have Raheem Mostert, they have Tevin Coleman, and they have Jerick McKinnon. That's 3 running backs. You do not need 3 running backs. Maybe you need 2. But you can trade any one of those 3 and get something for them in return. For Mostert, you might get a first-round pick back. Like, you might get a first-round pick. For Coleman, it depends on how desperate they are. If they are a running back away, they will pay a premium to get Coleman. Jerick McKinnon is probably somebody I would trade like that. I would probably give up, if they could give up picks or something I'm missing to complete my team, or a good draft pick, McKinnon's gone. Also, they have really good DBs, fast DBs, I should say. So they have Travarius Moore. I don't know if you'd trade him, but let's say you want someone who's better at coverage. Then you can go get, you know what? You can package him for somebody who is trying to trade a safety and package him and get someone better at that spot. You also have a bunch of low-rated corners that people would love to have just because of their speed. That's a thing that you should look for. You also got Jaquiski Tart. I don't really know how to say his name, but you know who I'm talking about. It's this guy right here. He plays strong safety, 90 speed. He's pretty good. Like that's somebody you can trade. Jimmy Ward is another one. Like you have a ton of players that you can package and get picks or players to fill holes that you need. You're not gonna need a ton of DBs on the field, because the meta is usually if at most you're gonna have 6 DBs, and they all don't need to be superstars. With the defense I play, I run 5 DBs else. I run 5 DBs. It means 5 DBs are going to get playing time, and they're probably not coming out because this defensive stamina doesn't really work unless your opponent is just running hurry up nonstop, and that's more of a detriment on his team. And another thing, like they have pass rushing options. They have a ton of pass rushers. We're gonna get away from speed for a minute. They are very deep at pass rusher. So right here they have Nick Bosa, Solomon Thomas. Solomon Thomas is a guy I'd trade. You may not get a lot for him, but you're gonna get something because he's got some speed to him at the end. You can put him at DT and he'll be good at there and be a spy for you. They also have D Ford and Eric Armstead. You probably don't need both those guys. You probably don't. D Ford you could trade. You could trade and get somebody good back or a really good pick back. Eric Armstead is also another player you can probably get a really good player back or a really good draft pick. That's why they're on this list. That's why I think they're so good. They are so deep. They have so much pieces that you don't need, that you could trade for draft picks. And that's why they're on there. That's why I have them at number 1. On, if you watch my best teams video that I posted a week ago, you would see that they are so deep with talent that it's going to be impossible to lose with this team for 5 seasons. The next team on my list is the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Cleveland Browns, I don't know if they're a top 10 team, but they're definitely a top half team in the league for the CFM. So the reason why they have 2 running backs, if you want to check their speed, you go right here. They also have a Dontrell Hilliard. You could also trade to get something good back. That's 92 speed. People are going to like that. If you remember last year with the Colts, Nyman Hines was a very good back. Very shifty, very elusive. He started at a low overall, but he had 94 speed. Like, people, that's what people look for, is speed in running backs, because everything else can be developed very quickly if you really focus your training on that certain player. Now, that's why they're on there, because you can also you could trade Kareem Hunt and get a lot back. I don't think it's a good idea to trade Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb is way too good in this game to just give away unless you're getting a ridiculous offer. That's my opinion, because I feel like the run is going to be good again this year. I'm not sure how good, but it's going to be good. They also have a bunch of corners. I probably wouldn't trade Denzel Ward or Greeley Williams unless somebody wowed me. But you got some 60 overall corners who have 93 speed. Those guys can just blitz. Like, that's the thing. You can have those guys just blitz, or you can make them play safety and develop them there. Like, 93 speed's never gonna get burnt. Like, that's not gonna get burnt unless they have Tyreek Hill and you're playing him in the wrong zone. They also have some young talent, like Grant Delpit. I don't know. I might not trade him, but then there's like Sheldrick Redwin you could trade. People love speed. People fall in love with speed. Those are reasons why I value that. I know I sound like a broken record, but speed kills in this game. Also, in the offseason they acquired Austin Hooper, which means every other tight end is disposable. Like David Njoku, people are going to pay for him, because usually a lot of players have one tight end in their scheme. Me being one of them. Like, maybe I'd have another tight end. I usually go with another running back, but again, that's neither here nor there. David Njoku, you can trade, get something back for him, and that's why he's up there on the list, because they also need help. They need help at linebacker, and this is a team. This is a team you can trade these pieces and get those linebackers in there, and you have a complete team just because of players you probably will not use. Like, you do not need 7 guys who have 95 speed or above at the same position. You just don't. That's just dead money sitting there. You can trade them for picks. You can trade them for holes on your defense or offense. And so I suggest you look at the players you have, see who's realistically going to play, and go through your roster. The next team is the Washington Redskins. I think they were a sleeper team in one of my previous videos. I think they were a sleeper team. Now, you're looking at them and you think, how do they have Tradebait? Well, they have a bunch of players who are low rated who can get you something. Because in my opinion, you're not going to be competing with the Redskins year 1. Year 2 is where it gets interesting for them. They have Troy Apke. People want this player. I promise you. He's been known for, at least for the last 2 Maddens. If you play a little bit of salary cap, you'll know why. He is a speed demon. Not real great in coverage, but he is a good user player. So people are going to pay a premium for Troy Apke. You also got Bryce Love right here. You have Bryce Love, 92 speed. Antonio Gibson, 91 speed at running back. You also have Montez Sweat. Now, what you want to do with Montez Sweat is totally up to you. In my opinion, I would trade him. Because he's 76 overall. You're going to get, I think if someone doesn't offer me a first-round pick for Montez Sweat, you're just not going to get him. Like, he's going to be a high-value guy. And I feel like there will be some players in the draft that can replace Montez Sweat that are going to have better stats. That's my personal opinion. You also have a bunch of, like, a couple other guys. Like, I don't think Geis is probably not going to be on this team at launch because of reasons. We don't really need to get into it in this. You know, you also have to go AP. Landon Collins is somebody I would trade because you're not going to win with him. He's not going to get much better. And people love the hard-hitting safety. Like, Landon Collins is a hard-hitting safety. Like, if you trade him, like, you're probably going to get something good back because he's a hard-hitting safety. People love to cause fumbles, especially when there's a running meta, which I'm not sure what the meta is going to be. I just know that the run it's still going to be good. It's probably not going to be as overpowered as 20, but you still want that insurance. The next team was really close to cracking my top 5, my top 5 videos for best teams in CFM, the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I am an Eagles fan. I will admit that. Maybe that had something to do with the Eagles going into the top 5 video and being as high as they were. But, hear me out. The Cowboys have a plethora of pass rushers. They have a ton of pass rushers. They signed Gerald McCoy. They have DeMarcus Lawrence. They have Tyrone Crawford, Don Terry Poe. Like, they have a real ton, a lot, an embarrassment of riches at defensive end and linebacker and DT. So that makes a couple of things. They also signed Everson Griffin this past week. They are so ridiculously deep at pass rusher. You're not going to need all these pass rushers. I promise you. You're going to be able to trade. You might even be able to trade Everson Griffin. You might be able to trade Gerald McCoy. Randy Gregory is somebody who's fast for his position. You might get something out of him. They have Tony Pollard, who you can trade and get a pretty good thing back. He was also a guy in salary cap who was a goon. He's also fast. Like, I keep telling you guys, speed. They also have a bunch of DBs. They have some disposable wide receivers. And another thing, you can pick your quarterback. Like Dak Prescott, I'd probably keep him. Someone's going to want Andy Dalton. It's just what it is. Like, people are going to want Andy Dalton because they want a solid backup if you have injuries in your league. Andy Dalton's probably one of the better backups in the game. You also have, like, DBs. You got a lot of pass rushers you could choose from. That is why they're on this list, and that's why they were close to being in the top 5. I kept them out I think I'm not a fan of the quarterback, and I think that's pretty much why I kept them out a little bit. But, like, if I had to do this list, or if I have to do the list over again, the Cowboys might find their way in. Like, they are a really stacked team. Last team, Philadelphia Eagles. I've already told you why I think they're the 3rd best team. That's right, the 3rd best team in this game behind Baltimore and San Francisco. I think they are the NFC's version of the Kansas City Chiefs. The reason why is speed. Now, I think they're the better version of the Kansas City Chiefs because they have players on defense. They have players on defense you can count on. Outside of 2 players, you have Darius Slay, you have Fletcher Cox, you have Brandon Graham. You have a bunch of players. They are almost the same team as the Kansas City Chiefs. They have good tight end. They have good receivers. They have an alright running back. They have a quarterback that has huge upside. Like Carson Wentz, is he Patrick Mahomes? No, but he can be a watered down version of Patrick Mahomes. He's got good speed. He's got a big arm. Also, like, here's where the team gets interesting, okay? You already know they have a bunch of players with good speed. Quez Watkins, that's a guy I'm trading. Avonte Maddox, that's a guy I'm going to be trading. Traymon Smith, probably trading. Rudy Ford, people are going to want him. Boston Scott, Miles Sanders, somebody's going to want these guys. Sidney Jones, someone might want him. But here's the kicker. Here is where it gets very interesting. It depends on your play style. It honestly does. Jalen Hurts. That's the wild card right there. Jalen Hurts. They should have his picture because he was a stud in college. He was an absolute stud. And it really makes me sad that his picture is not there. He was a stud in college. Why is his picture not there, EA? But anyway, let's say you want to be more of a scrambling type quarterback where, you can run a little bit of fast, like a little bit of quarterback runs or, a little bit of read option. You can trade Carson Wentz and you're going to get a haul back for Carson Wentz. Or if you want to be someone who, wants to be a little bit of a field general, still have that mobile speed, possibly get escape artist, you can trade Jalen Hurts, and I wouldn't give Jalen Hurts up for less than a first-round pick. Like, that speed, people are going to fall in love with that speed. Someone's going to bite. Someone's going to want that quarterback. They also have a ton of fast linebackers. They have Jatavius Brown. They have Nathan Gary. They've got Duke Riley, Sean Bradley. Like, it's crazy how good this Eagles team is. This Eagles team, I think, is a top 3 team. Yeah, you heard me say it. It's top 3 team. Jalen Reagor, I wouldn't trade him, but you could. Rookie out of TCU. That's why I wouldn't trade him. He's a rookie. Shelton Gibson, someone's gonna want these guys, and that's why I feel that these are the 5 teams that have the best trade bait. These teams should be good. It should be good at the end of your CFM. These should be the top teams. Now, the Redskins, it's a little bit of a different situation. The Browns are you should be good with the Browns. But again, don't let players who have really good stats just sit in your depth chart. Get somebody for them. Make some trades. Somebody is going to want to fill holes that you have a plethora of riches. One man's trash is another man's treasure. And you can turn your trash into treasure. You can turn them into, like I said, fill some holes on defense, fill some holes on offense, or gain draft capital to either get the players in the draft and develop them, or trade for big names just because you have these extra draft picks. This has been B-Guard. I'm signing off. If you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at bguard21. bguard_21, I'm sorry. Follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/bguard21. And if you guys want to get into a CFM, I'm not sure how full we are at this moment, but hit up MaddenUnderground.com. We're going to go right to the website right now. It's right here, MaddenUnderground.com. You want to register. If you don't get in right away, you'll be put on the waiting list. Now, people will drop out after the first season, I promise you. There are people who are not going to be able to handle getting their butts kicked. Don't be one of those players. Come in, you can try to win some money. It's going to be a very fun year, and I'm very excited. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.